Fulsome Fridays. So Fulsome makes, when you have a thali in front of you, khana pina, so you have all kinds of things. You have healthy things, you have some chatpata things, you have some options which maybe you like or you don't like, but you're eating it because, like in our earlier times, mummy ne kaha hai ki khana hai to kha lo. But we try to make full package. So Fridays is going to be a mixed bag where we'll have a whole combination of activities, some fun, some learning, some conversation, and even debates if you want. So we'll make it something which is worthwhile for all of you. Okay. So today, the topic is cosmetic talk. Now, you'll be wondering, what did I mean by saying cosmetic talk? How about you telling me your interpretation of it? Don't go by what we wrote as a small write-up for it, but I would love to know what you understand from cosmetic talk. Can anybody tell me? I'd love to hear from you. And don't worry, it's not a formal platform, it's a relaxed platform, because we are all going to discover our own levels of cosmeticity. There's no such word. Okay. So, yeah. Anybody tell me, what does it mean by saying cosmetic talk?
Yeah.
Yes, Seema.
So what I understand from it is, the superficial talk, not really touching upon what you really feel or mean, but it's just, you know, mm, so to say that, mm,
Okay.
actually playing to the gallery is what I would say.
All right. That's a very good interpretation. Can you tell me, all of you, you can raise your hands and be very honest, because this is the whole exercise of finding out how authentic we really want to be. Have you indulged in cosmetic talk in your lives, all of you? Or do you still do it? I do. Anybody else?
I do too.
Shweta, yes. Right. And who said that? Varsha?
Yeah, definitely. Many times.
Okay. So, what exactly do we mean when we say cosmetic talk? Sometimes it is important, it is relevant to do it also. Sometimes we don't realize we make it a habit in our lives that we become so cosmetic. We become so used to living behind a facade. The facade that the paint on in front of us is what influences our lives so much externally that we forget to live the authentic life that we are meant to be. We absorb everything that we are doing either to please the world, to please my relatives, to please my children, to please my, I don't know, workplace, right? But when you're doing all that, are you somewhere feeling pleased yourself? Haven't you noticed, we do it, that the doorbell rings and there's someone at the door. And you just don't want to meet that person. And that person has landed up, you say, oh, ye kahan se aa gaya? Right? But the moment you open the door, you say, hello, how are you? How lovely to meet you. Right? And inside you, you are not at all happy to see that person. Even a small thing like that. So what happens when we decide to live our life in a very superficial way? Are we running away from our own reality because we can't face the facts of what it means to live authentic? Or are we just resigned that there is no point, me being honest, or me being in integrity, or me being open, etc., because nobody understands me, Nobody cares for my opinion. Nobody is bothered about what I do or I don't do. Nobody is, in that space. And why should I do it for others? I will not show them the real me because I'll become vulnerable. I'll become exposed. I'll become a reason for, their jokes. I'll become a reason of people having, taking, thinking that I have double standards. I can't risk that. Have you felt all this in your life? That because of all this, there are reasons that you just don't want to show your true self to anyone. Sometimes even to your partner, even your children, right? So, why are we afraid to own up to what exactly it means to be my own self? Mom, you're not looking well. You're looking tired. Is everything okay? Yeah, everything is fine. I'm fine. Don't worry. So I'm still busy making their breakfast or their lunch or their dinner or doing things, so that they should not know. I have COVID, mild COVID, and my child lives abroad and he calls. He's saying, you're not looking completely okay. No, I'm fine. It's my usual, I get that cough or whatever. I'm fine. Why are we afraid to tell them? Or is it because we don't want them to go on a guilt trip? So technically, somewhere I'm guilty myself of creating this facade. What's the point? If I tell them, yeah, I'm not feeling well, I think I have a mild attack of COVID, it's okay, I'll take care of myself. That would be more reassuring than hiding the fact that I'm not well. Plus, with your relatives, with your in laws, with anybody, ask yourself, how authentic have you been? Can anybody give me examples of how cosmetically they have tried to cover themselves? Sometimes you have to put on a brave face. That's different. Sometimes you need to be that tower of strength for somebody, right? So I can give you my own example over here. So it was pretty traumatic actually. It was my sister's 20th birthday, that she turned 20. And there was to be a big celebration in the house. And my mother, she was in the kitchen making her favorite chanas. And I was also running around trying to help because I had to go somewhere else for a party. So the whole house would have been available to her and her friends. And this is 7 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock, my mother collapses and just dies. She's no more. Okay. Now I'm watching her, not knowing how to react. My sister is sleeping. I wake her up. I think that maybe my mother's unconscious or something. And I tell her to run and get the doctor who stays across the road. She gets the doctor and he comes and he says, I'm sorry, she's no more. Now that, can you imagine the shock that all of us would have gone through at that time? My sister, who was very, very attached because she being the youngest to my mother, she went into an absolute state of shock. Now, my father was not there. He was on tour. So what do I do? Immediately that strength comes from inside. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do I have to do? I have to do this. I have to call my father. I have to organize this. I have to blah, 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 blah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there I see my sister sitting there. So I go up to her and I shake her up and I tell her, don't worry, I'm there. I'll take care of you. Not for a minute, not because I was in trauma or in so much of shock. The other side of me took over so that nobody could see the grief that I may have been going through, because there was no time for it, right? So there are reasons where you put on that facade. It was end of the month, so there's, like every normal houses, you don't have cash and money stored in the house. So to organize the rituals and the cremation, etc., you need the money, you need this, you need to buy this. So, I mean, the whole thing, I got it organized in a very, very systematic manner. People thought I'm in a shock, but I wasn't. But yes, the only time I did break down was when my father was, returned in the evening. He was he was in Himachal somewhere, but he returned. That's the only time there was a reaction from me. Now, what would you call this? Was this a facade? Or was it the warrior in me? Or was it that masculine energy that took charge because it was needed so? So, those kind of facades also happen. But otherwise, each of you would definitely have been putting on some facade. So, today, if you tell me, yes, I do put on a facade, and what is that kind of facade that you have? Let's ask Redikall to give solutions or the reason that you're going through that facade so that you can take care of it on your own. So, in a way, it is lucid reading, but more based on the facade that you have or that unreal you that is overpowering your life today. So, all those who want to disclose the facades they have, raise your hands. Okay, Seema, you're the first one. But you have to tell me the facade. You have to tell me that cosmetic you, which is not allowing you to be your authentic self. Okay? So, yes, all of you, whoever wants
Yes.
a reading, please put up your hand, but you have to give me that cosmetic you that is stopping you from being the authentic you. Okay? So, yes, Seema.
Yeah. So, like, all my life, and everybody also has been saying that. And I also have that belief that I'm very adjusting and very flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And, so it is ki chalo. And at times, I even termed it as a free flowing
Mm-hmm.
person.
Mm-hmm.
But great thanks to you and Redikall. Now I realize that that is not so. All
Right.
that was because Vanto, of course, you deciphered for me, because it was unworthiness, that inner child, and self doubt also. I mean, the instances that came out was
No,
again
today,
self.
today I'm asking, what is that facade you're still holding on to? I'd like to know that one so that we
Yeah,
can figure out. Yeah.
yeah. It is like, being adjusting with everything.
Okay.
Yeah, when there are other people involved, so I'll say,
Okay.
okay, whatever everyone says and all.
And how does
And
that make you feel personally? Doing it for others, you're not doing it willingly. If you're doing it willingly, then it's not a facade. But if you are doing it as a pretense, as maybe something that is putting pressure on you, but you're still doing it, then it is a facade.
no, it's I would say 99% willing.
It's willing. Okay. So then
Yes.
you have to give me something that you have been pretending to be good about or pretending to be happy about.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that.
So it is, yes, that pretense is, when I have aggressive people around me,
Mhm.
so I just pretend to agree with them for the sake of peace or whatever.
So that
But
is a
that
facade.
does make me totally unhappy. I'm
Okay. So let's.
seething inside.
Right. Right. So
But I will say, yeah.
let's see what Redikall has to say. So it's diplomacy chakra. That means you have to, you know, follow this. It says it's a reminder to be diplomatic. So if you master the art of diplomacy, then when you know it is happening, something which is aggressive or other people are doing, you will not take it personally because you're already detached about it. So if you become detached, you understand this is coming from there, it is not my story. I am not going to allow it to affect me. And be tactful and diplomatic about it. Then things can start making you feel at ease and at peace also. Yeah. So,
Okay.
so it says, I remain assertive and expressive in a diplomatic manner. I
Mm-hmm.
remain assertive and expressive. These are key words. Redikall chooses the
Yes.
correct words. I
Yes.
remain assertive and expressive in a diplomatic manner. So try thinking of it in this way, that instead of hurting yourself or seething inside,
Mm.
just take it in a tactful and a diplomatic manner, or be blunt about it, what you don't like or what you don't understand or what doesn't please you, and see how it works for you. Yes, Seema?
Okay. Okay. Definitely I will try because वो उस टाइम डिप्लोमेसी भूल जाती है ना.
वो तो होता है. But
वो अंदर से होना नहीं है, तभी वो वर्क करना पड़ेगा. थैंक यू.
sorry, but at the same time we have to understand what is the consciousness teaching us, what is Redikall trying to tell us all the time. Go beyond, flow with the flow, aware acceptance and celebration. So when we learn all these things collectively, what are we doing? We are allowing ourselves to move forward. It's like rowing a boat. When you row a boat, you have to push something backwards to move forward, right? You have to push the paddle backwards. So when you're doing that, you're leaving that behind and moving forward. So metaphorically, if you look at it, if you start doing it like that, I'm sure it will start helping you. Learn to be diplomatic. Diplomacy Chakra, FC24. You can look up the details,
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, yeah. And not only that, I'm seething, and then the word that just came to me was while you were saying all that was that I judge them also.
Exactly.
So actually, yeah. So all that, yes, I've been doing.
So that's what we have to understand. Cosmetic talk allows us to look within ourselves, the facades that we are following. And like she said, now she's come up with the judgmental thing also, seething inside, pretense, etc. So we know it all. We just need to work on it if we genuinely and really want to be our authentic selves. Right? Thank you, Seema. Thank you for your question. The next on my list, as I'm seeing it, is Shweta. Shweta, iPhone. Shweta?
Mhm.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you can, shall I my video?
It will be nice to see you.
Ma'am,
Yes,
shall
of
I
course.
video?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what is your reason for putting on a cosmetic face?
Ma'am,
When and
usually
where?
ma'am, usually I'm a person, I don't any cosmetic face. Whatever is in my heart, I usually say it out.
Okay.
So, ma'am, so many times I've I've fallen in trouble because of that also.
Okay.
I not say it very sweetly, very bluntly. I say it.
Mm-hmm.
So down the line, I feel I shouldn't be so outspoken
Right.
regarding. But ma'am, right now I've been going through a very traumatic phase
Mm-hmm.
with my personal life, and
Okay.
then about my children and this and that, and stay in a different house. So, ma'am, right now I feel very jealous of my sister.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. That's being honest, because even though I'm sure you may be feeling jealous of her, but you can't and you won't show it to her. You can't. You can't show that I'm jealous of you, right? But it's somewhere inside you and it's maybe hurting you. Yeah, go on.
So, ma'am, when I had to leave my house, and at the same time, she also got widowed. So,
Uh-huh.
my attention, I'm not trying to say uh, it was towards her. It was towards me also, no doubt. But ma'am, uh, whenever she is kind of a perfectionist, so whatever she does is always perfect. So ma'am, whatever, like whenever I go to my mom, she'll say, "Usko dekh aise kariye, usko dekh paise kariye." She's so perfect. For a certain period of time, I listen. Then I got very angry, and I would just say anything to my mom. So
Okay.
once my sister said, "Why just you just keep telling talk nicely? She's your mom and this and that." Some days back, ma'am, we had gone for a picnic with all my sisters. So that time I told my sister that why is it that whatever you have required to say has to be the ultimatum? I mean, why is it that? So, ma'am, I'm not understanding why am I getting hurt so much?
Right.
What is with me that I'm feeling so hurt for what?
Okay. So Shweta, are you the eldest or the youngest or who?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. All right. So psychologically and otherwise in families, we know that normally the youngest child is otherwise given all the freedom because the mother has taken care of the elders and spent all her energies on providing care for the elders. So by the time it comes to the youngest child grows on their own and they are very free spirited. They learn to grow up on their own and they have their siblings above them to kind of uh, either take care of them or also be their what should I say, mother them or father them also, right? Your sister, is she the eldest?
No, ma'am. I have five elder sisters, and she's a
All
third
right,
one.
all right, all right, all right. So what happened was your childhood was carefree and you were absolutely, I'm talking as a child, you know.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
that childhood memories of you being independent, carefree, happy, etc., were the ones that molded a lot of your thinking. That's why you said you have an outspoken, nature and temperament. But at the same time, the unfortunate incident that has happened in your life as well as your sister's life
Mm-hmm.
has resulted in more empathy going for your sister because society
Mm-hmm.
sees, as if you look at the two in the scale, balance of scale, there is an inclination to feel a lot more for a person who's lost her partner
Yes. Yes.
as compared to the person who has goes through a separation. So nothing against it, not that your parents or anybody is against it, but that child in you, whoever your mentor is,
Mm-hmm.
okay, please do get some inner child healing done for that carefree child who has suffered some trauma at some point, which has impacted her to the extent that today she feels jealous of elders. All right. Now, this jealousy is also coming from a space of that you also have a trauma. Divorce or separation is also an equal trauma, if not the same level. But there is, people don't realize, but there is a lot of grief attached to that also. Okay. But since it's a choice that people make of going through a separation, so somewhere it is a little undervalued as compared to somebody who loses a partner. All right. So if you're feeling jealous, that's okay. It's a normal reaction of a sister to a sister. But if that jealousy is coming from a space of something having been taken away from you and handed over to her, whether it is emotion, whether it is love, whether it is care, whether it is dignity, whether it is, integrity, all this has been taken away from you and handed over to your sister, this jealousy component would become very, very strong inside you and keep growing because it is not about losing a partner or separating from a partner, etc. This then gets sort of cemented inside you. I'm not worthy, I'm not loved, I'm not dignified, I'm not honored, I'm not respected, I'm not cared for. Okay? So, all these facades will make you become more bullish, more, how should I say, not aggressive, but outspoken and maybe sometimes hurtful, which is not desirable. Yeah, Shweta? Does it
Yes,
make sense?
yes, ma'am. It's making sense.
Okay, so let me just take the reading for you. What does it say? Option chakra. This is NC6. Reminder to explore your options. Select the right option. Say yes to the current option. Settle down after selecting the right option. So, again, option choosing the option whether to be jealous or not to be jealous. Choosing the option to dignify yourself or not dignify yourself. Choosing the option to allow others to hurt you and not hurt you. You see, the options that will keep coming up are tremendous. The choice is yours. What you want to choose out of that.
But
Yeah.
ma'am, I'm not allowing them to hurt me. So what should I do, sir? So I stop hurting myself.
So I opt for the best option after exploring the rest of the options. I like it. I opt for the best option after exploring the rest of the. I'm reading from the Pothi, not from the book today. Okay. I opt for the best option after exploring the rest of the options. Try saying it. You never know. This might just work for you. Yeah, sure. You can write it down. Next is Varsha.
Hi.
Yes, Varsha. Yes,
So
Varsha.
I've always felt small and inadequate. So to mask that, I'll end up overspending, overgifting, uh, oversharing.
Okay. So your
That is,
need to overcompensate is coming from a space of vacuum.
yes.
So what does it need for Varsha to fill up that vacuum in her life? When you have an empty glass in front of you and there's an option of water and maybe some nice drink with it, what would you do?
I fill it with what I love.
Exactly. You'll fill it with what you love. So Varsha, I don't have to explain to you, but this need for actually trying to run away from accepting that vacuum. So you are not accepting that vacuum that is there inside you, which is restricting you from being, not that you're not your authentic self, because Redikall has obviously changed our lives so much that acceptance for a lot of things is there. But as you said, that you try to, overspend or overdo things, etc. For whose benefit? No one's. It is only maybe in a way trying to compel to think, that, okay, fine, I'm good when I do this. If I see others happy, I'm happy. If I spend extra, I feel good and I feel if I need one dress, I'm going to buy 5 dresses. But yeah,
Exactly that.
yeah, yeah. So this need to exaggerate, this need to sort of go out there in the world to say that, show the world that I can take care of myself. I'm fine. I'm good. Right? So this need is masking, really masking a lot of insecurity and a lot of, basic vacuum that is there as a huge, I wouldn't say as a whole or something, but yeah, that you are trying to cover up. And somewhere, Varsha, you're not allowing yourself at all to heal that vacuum. There is a resistance in you to heal that vacuum because you feel if I become my real authentic self, I'm going to be more vulnerable. Correct me if I'm wrong, because then I'd like to follow the correct uh, interpretation. So, somewhere you are afraid of accepting your vulnerability. And being vulnerable is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong in it. It's the most tender, most beautiful aspect of any human who is, has the ownership and understands what vulnerability means and accepts it, instead of giving the other person reason to know and think that, oh, she is vulnerable, this is her weak spot, let me, well, poke her there. And then it hurts you more. I'll give you an example of vulnerability. Maybe you'll understand from which angle I'm talking. I was, living in Germany for a number of years. So when I went there, I didn't know the language. In those days, English was not spoken so much. And I had to get basic jobs done, which needed me to sort of live in that country. Now, the point was, I didn't know anything. So, right from how to open the door of the house, of the main, before entering into the building, how to buy the vegetables, etc., which the shop was there below me, right in the complex where I live, and how to handle day to day living, how to pay the bills, how to understand what the water meter reading is, how to understand how to complain about anything, how to even deal with policemen for if you have a problem. So all these things were absolutely new to me because firstly, we don't do it in India. Secondly, it was an aspect that I had never been exposed to. So what did I do? Neither did I know the language. So I would very openly go to my colleagues and say, look, this is what I'm going through. This is my situation. I don't know how to handle it. What do I need to do? So they used to respect me for that, that she's honest enough to come up with even the most petty thing. People used to be embarrassed. How can I ask about this? It is so petty. I wasn't. I would just go up to them, and that was my vulnerability, which was being presented as a positive. Instead of giving them reason to poke fun at me, oh, you don't even know how to do this. Because for them, it would be part of their living. But this is a very general example. What I'm saying to you is that accept your vulnerability, let go of that resistance to let go of the vacuum, Marsha, and see a
The
life
fact that I'm
change.
even talking about it in a public forum is a big step for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you need a clap for this, please. Everybody, just clap for her. What is that logo, that icon you can do? Because for Varsha to come up and talk very openly about it is really a big thing. Thank you, Varsha, for opening up about that. Yeah.
Thank you
So
for
let
providing me with the space.
no, always, always. So let me see what Redikall has to say. So it says, CR1, right relief chakra.
Oh,
Reminder to offload the past baggage and start afresh. Right?
yes.
So let go of past backlog, guilt, regret, incompletions, inner children, past life cellular memories, ancestral baggage, effects of the past. So, Varsha, you would totally relate to this. I can understand that part. Yeah, live life king size, no doubt. Make those 5 dresses, but enjoy it as part of what you want to do, not as a compensation.
It is coming as a defense, yes.
Absolutely, not as a compensation. Ja, जी ले अपनी जिंदगी that way, but not because of as you said, defense mechanism. So I resolve and relieve myself from the past backlog.
Thank you. Thank you
I
so
resolve
much.
and relieve myself from the past backlog. Yeah, great. All right, who's next? Thank you, Varsha. Beena. Yes, Beena.
Yeah. So first of all, let me thank you for this session and the way beautifully you are explaining each of our answers. One of the matters that I wanted to discuss somewhere uh, in the back of my head, which came to my knowledge while Varsha was telling about it,
Mm-hmm.
somewhat similar, but some other way where I have already got an answer. Thanks for
Mm-hmm.
that. And to come to my real question, Aarti,
Mm-hmm.
so be it anywhere, anywhere in the sense, be it be in my personal life or or professional life, anywhere. What I could see is uh, the way I have been so kind. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
uh, trust me, I'm not telling about me. I'm telling about what people say about me. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so kind that I just give, and give, and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
happy doing that. Okay, without
Mm-hmm.
any expectations. Uh, Having said that, some of the times my glass is not full.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it drains my energy.
Right. Right.
But still, some of the times, not every time, say 50% of the times, I still give because I can't see the other person in pain.
Okay.
My enemy, even if it is someone who has caused me very deep grief.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, if I'm to tell about my sister or my mother, okay, no matter what, I haven't forgotten what good they have done for me. Because my thought is, who knows when I become a mother or when I'm in the place of my sister, what I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Okay.
is how I pacify myself
Mm-hmm.
without taking it personally. But somewhere it hurts, If it is outside person, it does not hurt me, nor has any outside person caused that kind of grief.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I pacify myself with two reasons. One, it is still about me. It is not about the other person. It is about certain patterns in me that I need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I have taken help of Redikall also some of the times during the daily recitation or the multi-chakra guidance and all. Somewhere I have felt that I'm getting the answers or, getting the answers in the sense a way of resonating with the state that I'm into to, calm my mind. I need uh, a solution for this.
Are you a premium member or are you doing the course with us also? Curriculum? Are you doing the curriculum with us?
I'm done with RCM level 1. I am not a premium member yet. I had done my level 1 more than 2-3 years back,
Oh,
just
okay.
few months before Corona, and recently I have even repeated it.
So, Bina, what I can make out from what you have been saying is that somewhere uh, you have this tendency to, as we talked about Varsha's case, but in a different perspective, to give all the time. So, giving also means, overcompensating for some uh, areas which are not there and functioning in your life, in your space at all. When you give too much, you see, it's always an energy exchange anywhere in life. When you put out a hand to shake hands, unless the hand comes from the other side, the circuit is not complete. When you buy something, no matter how expensive it is, you have to pay for that, right? When you
Yeah.
hold a, when you are in love, and even not in love, when you are as partners, unless you are together giving the same energy to each other, the completion is not there of the cycle of love. So if you look at it from any angle, anything, there has to be a give and a take. So if it is only a give and it's not being returned with a take, that means you are either not taking what maybe others are offering, or you are not able to take what others want to give. Just check in your space, because if you're hurting somewhere, what happens in the house, that means that there are expectations that you have that have not been met.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry
because,
to interrupt here, Aarti.
yeah,
See, first of all, I have just detached myself, to be very honest. Whenever I, have a conversation, okay, first of all, see, it's not that they don't love me or they are not concerned. They, in the sense, my mother or my sister, if I'm to tell very specifically.
yeah,
Whereas what happens is, uh, when I talk to them, okay, uh, and hardly say it is in terms of hardly in once in a 3 months or so. That too based on any occasion. Say if my mother has come to my home, it's their birthday that I have called them to wish. Okay, I end up with such kind of feeling that why the hell do I even call this person?
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. So see, I have just called and I have said hi, hello, how are you? Happy birthday. Remaining 20 मिनट ना मुझे इतना सुनना पड़ता है, कान पक जाते हैं मेरे पूरे.
You
And
are actually mirroring what exactly your parents or your mother is doing to you. Okay. This mirroring is happening because you are holding on to a lot of thoughts, feelings, and emotions inside you. Now, when you
exactly.
say you are detached, detachment, uh, if it is without emotion, then it is detachment. But if you say you're detached and there's so much of emotion, you're not detached. As
Yeah,
simple
see,
as
what
that.
is at that instance, no, at that
Mhm.
instance, it is very hard for me that I get emotional. What I mean by detachment is before the call and few minutes after the call, I am detached. But my mother is so emotional that she plays it like a tape recorder in her mind. She's not like me, or nor does she understand. Even if I try to make her implement what has helped me, okay?
So,
Trust
yeah.
me, I am at my native now. I'm talking from here, okay?
Okay.
And, even when I made attempts to make her understand, okay, a simple sentence that I told her yesterday. Okay, suppose I get a wound. Okay, I showed my
Mhm.
this small wound on my hand, and I told her, I get this wound. This pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. मैं आपको बता रही हूँ कि ये मलहम लगाना अच्छा रहेगा या फिर according to my point of view, you don't even want to listen to it. Okay, you
So
just want
tell
to.
me one thing, 1 minute, Bina, because we have other people also, and this would be actually you should be going to open house. You know our open house, no? You can always go there and get solutions for the long-term situation that you have. The thing is, when you want to be detached, the only thing that you need to take care of is that if you are able to look at the other person's story as their story and not get involved in it, क्योंकि सब लोग अपनी कहानी लेके आए हैं यहाँ पे. So your mother's story is an influence of whatever she has experienced in her childhood, in her beliefs, in her conditionings that she has grown up with. So that is what she may have tried to pass on to you people, you and your sister, and at the same time things have grown. You people have outgrown that, but you're still carrying the baggage of that, because if you're talking like this, you are mirroring exactly what your mother is doing to you, right? So if you say you're detached, you are not detached. If you say you're not hurting, I mean, you are hurting, you are a giving kind of person, because there is some lack inside you. That lack may be surfacing from some influence of either your childhood or the social conditioning or the belief system, or some kind of maybe past life baggage that you have. So for that, you need to come either to open house and continue with the curriculum. I would recommend that you finish, do level 2, level 3. Things will get sorted out immediately, because Redikall is such a beautiful tool, and it's an auto healing tool. So once you know it, then you'll know exactly where to have that acceptance, to understand what we are going through, where to have that awareness that, okay, this far, no further. I'm not going to allow anybody to enter my personal space and keep hurting me. I'm not going to allow anybody to take advantage of me. I will do for others as I wish to do, and as much as I want to do, whether it is my parents or my friends or my colleagues or whatever it may be. So that choice that you have to start learning to make, Bina, will only come when you are absolutely in a position to understand that to care for yourself or be cared by others, you have to let go of so many things. And also, if you are having expectations of any kind, that वो मेरी इतनी बात भी नहीं सुनती हैं, that is also an expectation, to expect others to understand and listen to what you are saying. They may not. They will not. It's okay.
But
No
men
problem.
don't want to in the first place. See,
Sorry?
when they don't want to. The
That's okay.
statement immediately comes up is, I don't want to listen, yeah.
That's okay.
And
That's okay.
even if I make an attempt, the call is disconnected. You call 10 times, they are not going to pick you up.
So don't call. Wait for things to calm down. Every storm always calms down. Then see how it is, because you have to learn to flow. Maybe there is an over sort of aggressiveness from you which you don't realize. Maybe. You never know with your parents.
Not
There
about
might
mindset
be.
here. What I'm said is, you don't know what I'm going through. There is no will in the first place, Aarti.
Hmm.
Say, for example, if I'm inviting, you have anyhow come down to Bangalore, please come down to my home. Okay. There is so much of resistance, or, you can directly say that I'm unwilling to come. You have got to tell all the
You
stories,
can't.
so you have to go there, this, that, and
Bina,
all. I end up getting with such kind of frustration, listening to all the stories. I tell it straight. मेरे को
so
सब
why are you allowing yourself to listen to stories? Number one. The second thing is, if there is a reason for frustration to rise, that means you yourself are allowing that frustration to be a part of your system. That is why you're inviting it all the time to come into your space. Now, all this explanation, I think the other people who are here who have done maybe various levels of Redikall will understand. So, my recommendation to you is also go to open house and maybe follow the curriculum to a higher level so that you're able to just be at peace finally with yourself for a lot of things. And it really helps. Right now, I have a reading for you, and it says CL12 Offensiveness Chakra. Reminder to have faith that it is safe to forgive. Okay? It says that the key words are need to offend, need to punish, need to hurt, defending by offending, tendency to offend, a need to forgive. I think all these words would resonate with you, Bina. So the statement for you is, I generously forgive one and all. I forgive myself. Start practicing this at least affirmation. See how it works for you.
one more thing, Aarti, I have got a problem, a health issue where there is no solution for it. Okay. It is related to one of the sensory organs, whereas I'm not, comfortable to discuss over here. So can I connect on a one-on-one for just 5 to 10
You'll have
minutes?
to come to open house. You know open house now. You know
Yeah.
that we have that platform. You
Yeah.
come there. We have senior facilitators there. They'll give you the time. You will be able to talk to them, and you can have a session over there. Somebody senior will come and help you, and you can get your healing done over there. No problem.
Okay. Good evening. After a very long time, I'm
Good
connecting
evening.
with you.
Tell me.
Yeah, I would like to have a reading for myself.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Uh, this is FC38, Acha, consolidation of existence chakra. That means
Okay.
reminder to overcome ill effects of past devastation, past traumas. So if there have been reasons in your, journey till now to experience a lot of devastation and trauma in any field, it would be best for you to start healing that process. I mean, I think you're already doing it and you have been on it for quite some time, because it says past trauma, shattering experiences, mishaps, devastation, consolidation of existence, gathering self, coming back to self. Does it resonate with you?
Yes. So I feel that my energy is too much scattered these days. So that the gathering self is the
Absolutely, absolutely. So the sentence is also very valid for you. I peacefully align with all that is well in my life in the now. I peacefully align with all that is well in my life in the now.
With all that is well in my life in the now.
Yeah. You want to write it down?
Yes, just give me 1 second.
So it will be written in the chat. You can take it from there. Okay.
Sure. So,
And
Aarti, there is one more thing actually. Just if you have 1 minute, just wanted to discuss one small thing. If
yeah, tell me.
Yeah, so actually, I lost my brother almost 11 years back, 11 and a half years back.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, it took me 2 years to come to the terms and getting back to the normal life. But from last couple of months, on and off, I dream about him. So I do not know what is the message for me and how should I decode that message.
How does it make you feel?
Because yesterday night also my sleep was very disturbed, and actually he was under depression and he committed suicide. So yesterday it was all in my head, like how I could have prevented that, how could I have done something to that it.
So, Archana, what you need to take care of first is the guilt that is associated with it. You are somewhere holding on to the guilt that I couldn't help my brother. I could have done this. I could have taken care of these things. Why didn't I see the signals? Why didn't I understand what he's going through? So the guilt component is very, very high. Okay. And with the guilt is the grief. All right. The loss. So I think you need to work on your loss. This is a deep loss and it's more personal because there is a guilt attached to it. All right. So work on your guilt, work on your sense of loss, and work on your grief. Let go of the grief completely. And you're part of open house. You can come there and get your healings done over there also. So otherwise you have to become a premium member and you can access open house and get your healings done over there. So this is a very strong thing. Unless you let go of all this and maybe just talk to the energy and see what it is saying. Maybe there's a message for you. Concentrate. Maybe there is something he would like to tell you. Just listen to it. But if it is coming and all the time you're feeling the sense of loss is because of things you could have done and couldn't do. Okay? So you need to deal with that, Archana. Okay?
Okay. I understand.
Please work on your guilt, your sense of loss, and your grief. And try to speak to the energy and see what it feels like. Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel safe? Maybe there's a message, coded message. The universe is always there to keep giving us the messages. Sometimes they come down in different forms. And maybe there is a message that, the energy of your brother wants to convey to you. Take it. No problem. And then you can deal with it accordingly. All right?
Sure. Thank you so much, Aarti.
You're welcome. Yes, Apurva. Anybody else who would like answers to your facades? Let me see the group. Right. Anybody else apart from Apurva who would like a reading? Okay. Yes, Apurva.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for me, facade, it comes in two ways. One is when you don't want your loved ones to worry about you. And second is when you find some dominating people in your space and you cannot talk back, as Seemaji also shared earlier. So that is the time when you put up I put up a facade like, yeah, okay, I understood. Because
why don't you trust yourself? Why don't you, I'm not questioning, this is an answer I'm giving you. Yeah. Why don't you trust yourself? Why don't you believe in yourself? Why don't you allow yourself to know that you're the best? Why don't you think that whatever you do is for the best, purpose that you have been, for your life journey? Why don't you believe in yourself when you say that I am good, I am the best, and I can make it happen? Ask yourself these questions, right?
Yeah.
The point is, uh, the world around us is always there to make us feel the way we go through it. And then, it's like that Stockholm syndrome, that if something is going, constantly told to you the same thing over and over and over and over again, you start believing, yeah, maybe I am like that. Maybe that is what I am supposed to do. Maybe this is the way I'm supposed to live. So you've seen the best of people breaking down when they have been forced into kind of, letting go of who they originally were and becoming a ghost of what they were, in terms of their real self. And when they meet somebody from their past, that person says, "What's happened to you? You were not like this." So the point is, which one is the real you? Was it the one that was, independent, able to do things and able to have command, able to have control in the correct sense, not in terms of domination? Or is it the one who's all right, fine, I'll do it, giving up? Who are you giving up on? Yourself, your life, or your connection to your higher supreme? That fine, I don't care now, it's okay, I'm giving up. That's not what the soul wants, in terms of its experiences on this planet. The body of Apurva has been given these situations because the soul wants to go through its experiential journey.
Right.
And what is Apurva's role? Not just to listen to her conscious mind, but to allow that filter mind kachara to get out and connect to her subconscious mind, so that that alignment with her superconsciousness can happen. But the conscious mind will not allow it, because it has complete control over what Apurva should do. Now, Apurva should sit like this, turn her head this way, look like this, turn her head that way. The conscious mind will keep doing that. Yeah?
Right. Right.
So, Apurva is not meant for that.
So, ma'am, if I may add, that happens because when you grow up in an environment where a lot of importance is given to order and systems and structure, so you cannot break the law. It has to be done this way only. When you grow up with that, then somewhere I am not comfortable if I don't have a system, if I don't have a structure. And if I'm asked, you just freely flow. I need to have a system. Like I need to follow the right path. I need to do the right thing. So I become,
You just said, I need to follow the right path. Now, this seems like a command which has been given to you by the elders of your family. Right. That you need to follow the right path. What is the right path?
It's subjective.
That right path, it's subjective. You just said it, I need to follow the right, I need to do this. When there is a need, that means it's a force.
Right.
Where it is, I want to follow the right path, I want to follow systems, it's your choice. So, see the difference?
Yeah.
So, if you have the need for it, it is coming from a space of pressure, it's coming from a space of conditioning, it's coming from a space of the beliefs that have been, sort of poured into us since childhood. Yeah. So, ask yourself, is that the authentic you? Is that what you want? Or you want, okay, the structures are there, the processes are there, but I will devise my own way of functioning in it, where it makes it flexible enough that if the systems are not followed every day, it's okay. If the process is not followed every day and there is a deviation, like you're working in an organization, the processes will be different. Your thinking will be different from 10 other people. 10 other people will think differently from you. But what does ultimately alignment? Alignment for the cause of the organization's work to function correctly. So what will be needed? Probably it needs Apurva to give up her stance of, let's say, rigidity, for example,
Yeah.
and say, okay, fine, I can do this. Maybe I'll do it 1 hour later. That can be added. But if I'm going to be rigid and say, no, you give me my answers first, only then I will do it, it doesn't work.
Right.
So the point is, ask yourself, you want the processes, you want the, what would you say, conditioning? No, what did you say?
Systems and structure.
Systems and structure, or you need it. So that's where the difference will come in, and which will give you a lot of flexibility, which is what is needed in your space. Now, flexibility doesn't mean just being able to be flexible in your thinking. It's a flexible approach, it's a flexible thought, it's a flexible body, it's a flexible mind, it's a flexible attitude. There's so many things we need to be flexible about, right? That is important. And sometimes it's important for us to look at ourselves when somebody tells us that, Apurva, this is wrong, you are not correct. We should not know or sort of think and take it personally. Because who are they telling? They are telling that office face of Apurva, or the home face of Apurva, or the teacher face of Apurva. So that means she has to correct somewhere in that space.
Yeah, that rule.
Make sense?
Hmm.
Okay, let's see what your reading is. Interesting. CL19, left transparency chakra. Reminder for the need to remain transparent and or in integrity. I gracefully remain my authentic self. Couldn't be a better answer than that. Yeah? I gracefully remain my authentic self. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. So, anybody else or any other kind of questions you have if you don't want a reading? Otherwise, we can end the session today on time. Yeah? So, Asha, Bina, Archana, Shweta, Pooja, anybody else? Yeah. So, thank you so much for being here for this. Shweta, you raised your hand for a question.
Ma'am, you did a reading for her, so you did a reading for me before also, but still I can ask the reading. I'm asking.
No, it's done. Your reading is done.
Okay.
That is what was meant for you today. Okay?
Okay.
That was
Okay,
what
ma'am.
meant for you today. I know it's एक लालच होता है, एक और हो जाए, एक और. But it doesn't work like that, ना. तुम अगर गुलाब जामुन 2 खा रही हो तो तीसरा खाओगी पेट खराब हो जाएगा ना.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay, ma'am.
anyway, so thank you very much, everyone. It's the time is over now. Please leave your feedback on the Circle for Peaceful Progress group, and if it'll help us to also design further programs for you. And thank you all for being here so much today.